Let's get the Sena 60S installed in the KLIM Krios Pro. Well, now we're going to install the Sena 60S in my new KLIM helmet. But before we did that, I did use the included USB cable and charged the battery in the Sena. And after the battery was charged, I hooked it up to the Wi-Fi on my phone. And after that was done, I connected it to the Sena app. And the first thing that comes up is asking me if I want to update the firmware. And I updated the firmware, and it was probably the easiest firmware update I have ever done with Sena. It's a straight connection. It's update over the air, and the Sena app. Let's show you which one it is. It is that app in the middle. That is the Sena app. So after having updated that, well, it's time to see if we can install it in the helmet. The parts we need for this, obviously the helmet. I don't have a helmet donut, so I'm using a roll of duct tape just under the cover here to make sure the helmet doesn't roll away for me. Of course, we have the Sena 60S. We have the unit, the clamp unit with the 2 speakers. I am using the microphone that's going to attach with Velcro in the front of the helmet. And I have the 2 pieces that goes into the ear pockets. That's the Velcro, that's the female side for the Velcro on the speakers. And this is for the microphone that's going to go in the front of the helmet. So let's see if we can get it done. First we need to remove the visor and the beak from the helmet and get some of the interior out. Alright, let's start with getting the visor off the helmet, or the beak. Let's start with the beak. So we don't lose any of the pieces. Right side. Let's pull this down and do the left side. It comes off really easy. That's the left side. Beak also has a screw on top. I'm going to get that off. I should be able to do that with my fingers. I hope they didn't cross thread it. It doesn't look like they did. There is a, looks like a Teflon washer here as well, so make sure we don't lose that one. Alright. This is the standard visor the helmet comes with. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the photochromatic visor. And I already installed the, what's it called? The pin lock inside it to avoid fog. They say the photochromatic is only for daytime. The risk is if you're riding in the dark with headlights coming on. I actually don't think headlights will affect this at all, because there's no UV light in headlights. So we'll see. I tried out. I never had an issue with it on my previous helmet, so I'm going to give it a shot. So then let's get some of the interior out. It's interesting. It seems to be just Velcro holding the inside on. In the old one you had the snaps that you can hear when they snapped in and out, but this is actually Velcro. I'm not sure if you have to take them all the way out or if we can just remove it a little bit to get the speakers in here. We'll see. Then we're going to unbuckle the back here. That still has the snaps, I believe. Yep, the back still have the snaps, so there should be at least 2 snaps, and they added a bunch of Velcro here, which is obviously okay. Snaps are gone. Let's take the interior and pull it forward to get it out of the way. Let's take a look where we have the speaker pockets here. Speaker pockets are not as clear as they were on the old helmets. So my assumption it will be right here. We'll give that a try. I think I'm going to start attaching the clamp unit to start. Well, after struggling a little bit with this mount, the clamp mount that goes around the helmet, I don't necessarily like it. The metal piece is sticking inside the helmet, so I'm going to go ahead and actually take that bracket off and use the glue-on mount instead. I like that better. So there's a little tab inside here. You push that in and you take the metal bracket off, and it comes right off like that. And then you can use the included glue-on mount instead, which I like much better. That just goes off in the back of this. Make sure I put it on correctly. Yep. It snaps onto the back of the Sena unit. Snaps in and you can take it off the same way. But I do like that one better. It doesn't damage the helmet. Of course, you need to put it in a location that it gets maximum tape onto the helmet. So that's going to be back here somewhere, which should be fine. Stop recording. I cleaned this off with some solvent to make sure that I get all the grease off the helmet here. We're going to install this back here. There's some different shapes on the helmet here. That's why it's going to go a little further back than what I'm used to, but that should be fine. So let's remove the backing. And on it goes. There we go. It's on. Let's make sure we push it on here. Normally I wouldn't ride with it until maybe 24 hours after the tape has set, but it's snowing here today. We expected to get, I think, 5 inches, so there's no riding. All right, goes on pretty nifty. Quickly, easily comes off too. I'm going to take it off so I don't. It's not in my way when I install the speaker. So, with the connection module in place, let's get to the short speaker connection, which goes on the left side. Not 100% sure where the speaker pockets are here. There's really no clear indentation where they are, so I assume it's up in this area. So we're gonna just fit them in here briefly and see if that works. If not, we have to move them around, of course. Start with the short cable. I'm attaching the Velcro on it. There's a couple of these included here, so if you really mess it up, I can always move it. I believe this is the ear pocket, so let's put it right in here. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Yes, I'm not really going to know until I connect the sound system to it and can listen to it and see where they are, but it should give me some room to move the speakers around here if needed. So this is going to go to the back. All right, there we go. Now we need to find a way to put the microphone in the front. I like it on, I think, the left hand side. That's the best, because I normally have a... Alright, let's do that. It makes most sense, so let's put it on the left side. Let's connect the speaker to the red wire. Alright, that's the way it goes. Alright, so they actually, what they did, there's a little arrow here on the black. It's hard to see without glasses. And there's like a receiving arrow on this one. So you mirror these two together. There you go, snapped in together. Gotta get the other Velcro for the microphone. Make sure the microphone, the wiring goes backwards, because that's where I want it to go. Put it somewhere in the middle of the Velcro. And then find a good spot for it here. I think I like it right there. Worst case, I can move that one too. I just put some new Velcro on it. So, alright. So now let's go down and hide the wires down here. That's pretty easy done. Just pull back the over the head piece we folded forward earlier. So we pull that back, pull the wires under that, and then attach that in the rear here. Just making sure it's good on that side. Big question is, are the speakers in the right spot back there? Alright, last but not least, let's do the area with the speaker wire. You have to get that hidden in here. I meant the microphone wire, of course. It should be easy to do. Is get this in first. Put this, I mean the side, the hard side here. That slides in nicely. And it's a perfect junction here for where the cables go to the outside bracket. And there's a split here in the material. So we should be able to hide this really nice in here. came down very well. All right, behind it and in front of it. Nice. A little bit of the cable stick out there so you can pull them inside more. I like it as tight, as hidden as possible. And I know it's impossible for you guys to see, but I'm trying to tuck the cables in here so they are completely out of the way. And then just get them pinched into the Velcro, getting the strap through here. Okay, everything is back in place from what I can see. Let's take a look at it this way. Yeah, the left side and the right side seem to look the same. I like to get that down a little lower. That's a little high for my taste. There we go. That's good. Gonna do a quick just trying on to see if the helmet fits properly here. It feels okay, it feels good. So now let's get the unit on here and let's pair them up with my phone. I can put it on and see if I can get anything. Let's turn this on first. Actually, I'm going to go to Bluetooth on my phone. And it should come right on. As long as I push the button. It's on. All right. Let's see how we are doing. Play some music. Left speaker needs to come up a little bit. A little higher. It should be an easy adjustment to do. Looks good. Give it a second try. Perfect. All the padding is in there perfect. I don't see any issues. I don't see any cables hanging out that I shouldn't. It's all good on that side. It's all good on that side. Actually, that is better. Making sure everything is covered up. All right. So that's good. We have a unit installed. I'm happy with it. Cable is a little looser here than I want, so I'm going to actually attach the cable here with the little cable clip. Turning this one off. It's off. So now let's get back to install the new visor, which is the one for daytime only. While we are here, I'm taking off my label here. This is a large. I don't need that sticker on here. Alright, so we need a visor, the beak, and the mount. I think I'm gonna take back my contraption here with the duct tape roll. It makes it easy to line this up. Let's start with the visor. There we go. Just making sure it sets there. Then we put the beak on. I think I'm actually going to attach the beak just briefly up here with the... Actually, hang on 1 second here. Let's do this. Let's attach the beak first. Make sure we put the Teflon washer up here. And then at least we have this one attached, so the beak's sitting on here. All right. Now let's do this. Put the visor in. Visor snaps right in. Beaks just go right over it here. And then line up the screw. Put it back in the hole. Oh, come on. Okay, the right side is there. Left side. Visor is in. I do recommend to buy a helmet donut if you have the opportunity to do that. That's certainly better than balancing what I'm doing here. Okay, and once attached, now you have two positions for the beak, more a little further up and then further down. I like the further down. It's like the sun visor in your car, so I like to make sure that I have that one tight and as far forward as I can. All right, so that is the installation of the Sena 60S. I recommend using the glue-on mount, certainly much easier than using the bracket. It was new in this helmet, no snaps on the front pieces here, just Velcro, which I think makes it easier to position in the right way. You don't have to look for the snap. So the last thing we have to do is remove the plastic protection. There you go. Here's the new Sena. Oh, there was a hair there. Well, clearly it wasn't mine, but I was afraid it was inside of the pin lock, but it wasn't. So here it is. The helmet is ready to go. Just need to pair it with my motorcycle and well, wait for some snow to go away and start riding. So Thanks for watching. If this was of use to you, please consider subscribe and like. That will help me out. So thank you.
Hey folks, this is Jim with Rawhide Adventures, and I want to talk briefly about a collaboration that we're doing with BMW Motorcycles of Detroit. And the idea is simple. Here in Southern California, through the winter months, it's typically much warmer than it is in Detroit. And we have put together a really cool week-long adventure that involves a couple of days of training, because we're an official BMW training school. And then tied to that is a really awesome 5 to 6 day ride in the Great Mojave Desert. For those of you that don't know much about the Mojave, Death Valley National Park is part of it, but it's one of the greatest off-road playgrounds in America. And it's a really great opportunity to get out of the cold weather, come out here. Right now it's about 70 degrees here in Southern California at the end of January. So we'd love to have some folks from Detroit come play with us. For more information, talk to Mats there at the dealership. He's got all the details, and we'd love to have you join us. So once again, this is going to be in late April, and it's going to be a really great adventure. So think about it, come out and see us, talk to Mats, and thanks so much for being part of the BMW Adventure community.